Columbus Small Animal Hospital, loving our work. I'm Dr. Jim Kramer. This is Tumbles. She's a 2.5-year-old female English Bulldog who's quite pregnant. Here's an ultrasound from 4 weeks ago with a puppy, and you can see his heart beating right in the middle. And here's an ultrasound from today. Pups are larger. Here's 2 pups in one horn. Turns out there's 2 pups in the opposite horn as well. It can be difficult, especially early on with ultrasound, to count puppies, because you move the probe a little bit and you may see the same puppy in a different view, and it may look like it's an entirely new puppy when actually it's the same one. So it can be difficult to get an accurate number, but today there are 4 pups with beating hearts. Dr. Wesley is working quickly. Time is always an important element in any surgery, but especially in a cesarean section. Many drugs, including anesthetics, do pass through the placental barrier, and so the puppies can be anesthetized, so we want to get them out and breathing air for the very first time as soon as we possibly can. Up until this point, these puppies have lived in a completely aquatic environment, and they're getting all of the oxygen through the bloodstream of the mother through their placentas. Once that placenta is detached, and the puppies have to convert quickly to breathing air again for the first time. Birth is a messy process. There's a lot of disgusting stuff that's built up over the period of gestation here, and we do not want that to spill into the abdomen of the mother. Right now it's contained inside the uterus. Once we make an incision in that uterus, now we've unleashed these toxins and this fluid that we don't want to contaminate the abdomen of the mother with. So Dr. Wesley is working to exteriorize the entire uterus. So we see the left uterine horn is in the near field at the bottom of the screen, and now she's working to get the right one out. It is shaped like a Y with the ovaries at the end of the stems of the Y on each end. The uterus is fragile. It does tear easily. It's a big water balloon with puppies inside. So Dr. Stephanie has that uterus exteriorized. She's going to pack it off to control any flow going back inside the abdomen, and quickly make an incision and reach for a puppy. We have several people standing in the room with her, and as soon as a puppy's exteriorized and she gets it completely loose, she's going to hand it off by dropping it in that towel that you see to the right to one of our staff members. And there's our first puppy. Once the puppies start coming out, this tends to move quickly. Here Dr. Wesley is going for another one. There are 2 puppies in each horn. It certainly isn't always that way. There might be several puppies in one and none in the other, or all kinds of mathematical combinations. But in this case, it's a very symmetrical group. There's our second puppy from the left uterine horn. Usually we would have to make separate incisions over each puppy, or many of them, in order to reach them, but she's able to get them all from the same incision. So here comes the first puppy from the right uterine horn, puppy number 3. So she hands off puppy number 3. What you don't see is all the activity that's going on elsewhere in the room when the puppies are being revived, their airways cleaned, their umbilical cords tied off, and they're being stimulated into breathing into life. There's a lot of things that have to go right at this juncture. Here's puppy number 4 on his way out to see the world. So while Dr. Ann and other staff members are attending to the puppies, Dr. Wesley can concentrate on closing this uterus. It does have to be a watertight closure. There's a lot of debris and material still in the uterus that does need to be carried away and to exit the body. And this uterus will then shrink down and become quiescent until pregnancy happens again. So this is a multiple layer closure using specific suture material, a specific type of needle, and specific suturing techniques to close this uterus in a way that it's completely watertight. Now that the uterus is closed completely and the source of contaminating debris has been walled off, now Dr. Stephanie puts down a nice clean drape And now we can clean the serosal surface of this uterus as much as possible before replacing it back in the abdomen. So Dr. Stephanie is satisfied with the cleaning of the uterus and double checks it for leaks one final time and reinserts it back into the abdomen. Now she's going to switch suture materials and the suture needle and close the fascial layers first to guard against any kind of dehiscence, and then she's going to close the muscular layers and subcutaneous layers, and finally the skin with surgical staples. So here's Tumbles sitting on her sternum, awakening, and here's Dr. Stephanie and Dr. Ann placing Tumbles in a cage with a raised rack so that any fluid can fall through so she can stay clean and dry. And now we get our first look at the puppies, all in a row. There are 2 males and 2 females, so a really nice litter of very healthy pups. And now the puppies are nestling together and into this bedding. We call this bedding, as we cut it up into sheepskins, we refer to it as, it's a textile that's made for this purpose to use in dog kennel situations. We place the puppies into our intensive care unit where the environment is tightly controlled, both the temperature and the humidity. You can see they're drying off and becoming more active, and now they're looking for something to eat. My wife, Dr. Ann, and I were USDA licensed breeders of English Bulldogs for 12 years. So we've seen a lot of these puppies. We've done a lot of AIs, we've done a lot of Cesareans. And even yet, I don't think there's anything cuter than a newly born English Bulldog puppy. They are so adorable. Of course, my wife, Dr. Ann, and I have a special fondness and affinity for Bulldogs. They've been a big part of our history together. And here's our happy little family. Columbus Small Animal Hospital, loving our work.